What is hindering? What is making us bored? Or what is there more to see? What is it what we're looking for? When we practice, what is it what we're looking for? And what makes us stop? This thought comes in, this idea comes in, and at the time when we're practicing and it's difficult, then this is a good idea. Or we should take up this, or we should take up that, or we should leave the place, go someplace else, because there it's better. The grass is always greener on the other side. Wherever we are, the grass is not green enough. On the other side, or over there, over here, over there. That's all. Now what can we do? What is that? What would satisfy? What really would satisfy? Somebody promised us for the rest of our life, a life without work, just with all the pleasures and desires and the fulfillment of our desires. Would that satisfy us? But we don't ask the question, we just get the promise and go for it. Of course, in the starting days of my own practice, after a few years, I had the idea of becoming a meditation teacher. Still living in the world, not being a monk, being a meditation teacher, having a good relationship, and that. Thinking, living the Dhamma in the world. When I came here, I had to reconsider my case and re-evaluate it and see that this is not possible. You cannot live in Dhamma in the world. You have to practice. And practicing Dhamma means shutting out the world. If you do not shut out the world, it will always creep in. It will creep in like the fog creeps into all the space in our house, through all the holes, through the windows, through the doors. If you don't shut it out, then they will catch you. Even as a monk, or as a nun, or as an ordained person, you still have a high protection that was provided us through the wisdom of the Lord Buddha. Still there is some tangling with the world. Contact with the lay people and teaching. These are the doors to the world outside. Doing this, thinking this is important, doing that, thinking that is important, helping the people who suffer. Everything seems in the moment that our practice is going difficult, seems more important than the practice itself. And then we go out, teach a little bit, or have contact with lay people, have an invitation there, have an invitation over there, go and look at this Arahant or go and look at that Arahant, listen to the talks of this person or listen to the talks of that person, all in the belief that we are following the Dhamma. It's the Dhamma that we listen to, it's the Dhamma that we read of or hear of. It's not practice. This Dhamma will be stones in our package only. It will be weighing us down, and it can be the same thing as lay people in the evening when they are tired from work, once they have eaten, go and sit in front of the TV and just turn it on, consuming whatever is there on the TV. Consuming Dhamma is the same thing. Just consume it and consume it and consume it, have never the time to digest it, even less time to practice. For a practitioner, practicing the Dhamma is the only thing. This is for him, then Dhamma has a value. Listening, hearing, reading has no value until it is not one. It's the same thing in the world. If you have science, if you study science, and if you never apply it, it's useless. And that's the same thing holds true for Dhamma. If you do not apply it, it's useless. Even worse, it can be weighing us down. Trying to figure out what it means instead of seeing for ourselves what it points. Do I really do not know how to get the message across? For the last few days, or for the last few talks, I try to get you into the mood of investigating the body, investigating the five khandhas, breaking it down, questioning it. But somehow it seems to me that instead what I say, or the examples that I try to find, to illustrate it, are not the sticks that I thought they would be, that led you over the eyes of Avijja, but become figures and meaning in itself. It's no use. The examples that I give you, the examples that I rip out of my heart to show you how to do it, the investigation, how to get at the core, how to get at the Dhamma, are sticks that help you cross the eyes of Avijja. They have no other meaning in it. They are sticks. Use them to get safely across the eyes. That's what they are intended. But you take them, or you might take them with a meaning in itself. try to figure out what they mean. And then after you figure it out, then you just put it into your tools of toys or into your box of toys and play around. That's not bigger. The way to correctly use it is to take them and apply them. Apply them to the daily life, apply them to the daily practice. When I talked about the example that when we look at a certain fabric or material for a long time, we will see figures emerging out of it. And when we look and look and look, and we keep looking and keep seeing the same figure over and over again, then after 3 days it's still. And whenever we look at that spot, we will see that figure. We will see that image that we have created within our mind. And I took that example, to caution you. Whatever comes into your mind, know it has been created by yourself. It has been created by your mind, or it has been created by your heart. And you're fooled by it. Because whenever you look there, you see it, and then you believe it. Yes, that's that. Yes, this is this. Yes, this is that. Yes, this is karma. Yes, this is my fate. Yes, this is what I have to do. That's what I call not applying the Dhamma. Not applying the Dhamma. Applying the Dhamma means what really is it. I've created it, I believe it, I go for it. Now let's try to break it back down into the patterns that used to form the image that I see, that used to form the ideas that I have. And in the end, if you really break it down, then it just becomes different colors or different forms. And the meaning goes up. The meaning that we have put into it, the meaning that we immediately see or used to see, has gone. It's the same thing when we sweep, or when we wash, or when we do any kind of activity. When we break it down into its bits of movement, moving the muscles, or moving the arms, or even moving the arms and moving the legs, where's the activity? The meaning of the activity has gone. There's just what remains is movement, sending signals to the different parts of the body. But of course, if you don't apply, you think this is washing, this is sweeping, or this is this, or this is that. And once we think this is this, or this is that, it becomes immediately a value where our likes go, or where our dislikes go. This kind of movement you don't like, this kind of movement you like. Now go even one step further. I told you the example. When we go and see a movie, it's full of. Now let's hold the movie at one point. And after a while, maybe after an hour or after 2 hours, we see the second frame. And after 2 or 3 hours, we see the third frame. And where has the movie gone? Where has the action gone? It has all disappeared. Only the quick assembling of one frame after the other gives us the illusion of actually something moving, something acting, something speaking, or something showing. Only this. If we hold it at one frame, then this frame is just a picture. We don't know if that person that is in this picture is moving, staying, laying, or sitting. We cannot distinguish it if we don't have the reference to the past, or if we don't have the reference to the next following frame. Everything becomes just one frame, just a still picture. So where's this movement? Where's the exciting thing? The faster it moves, the faster we see this movie going on, the more entertaining it is. Because then actually it makes us believe that some things are happening. That there is a lot of action, that there is a lot of interaction. And we are thrilled by it. But if we break it down and keep it still at one frame, then all the action, all the interaction has disappeared. If you forget the reference to the past, and if we forget the prediction in the future, the thing itself becomes meaningless. The thing itself just think of this. Apply it to your daily life. The words that we use to speak, the words that we use to think, break them down into what they mean. The things that we long for, or the things that we dislike, break them down. Until the likes and the dislikes disappear. They appear, they disappear in the moment the thing does not make any sense. The thing we're watching, observing, has no meaning at all. Or they disappear when we used to replace them with the opposite. But then they just change into the opposite. So the likes change into dislikes, and the dislikes change into likes. We need mindfulness. We need mindfulness at every moment to catch the things that are going on within. The first you can just do not pay any attention to it, so they will disappear. As they have appeared, they will disappear. If you have interest in them, then they will stay. And if you have more interest in them, then they will develop. And that's where we have to break them down. Don't let them develop. Break them down and then go back to whatever you set your mind. Was it investigation? Go back to the investigation. Was it the practice of samadhi or calm? Then go back to the object. What is there in this world that attracts? Once you have done 2 or 3 hours of practice, you think about something in the world that attracts our attention. Then in the beginning you might be, okay, let's go back to the practice. And then after 2 hours, the same kind of thought comes up. We might put it away, and then after an hour of practice, the same thought comes up, and then it comes often and more often, until we feel compelled to do it. Until there is really no other way than to follow our desire. Follow our desires, follow our likes, or try to avoid our dislikes. So how? What kind of language? What kind of example shall I use to convince you that what you think is real is not as real as you thought? That what you like has nothing to do with what is. And what you dislike has nothing to do with what is. If you want, if you go along the path of practice, and then one time, through thorough investigation, come to the point where you can pass beyond greed and hate, beyond likes and dislikes, beyond good and evil, and all other opposites. You might find it humorous, you might laugh out, or you might think of yourself to be so stupid. How could I? How is it possible that I ever were fooled by this? How is it possible? Once you've seen through it, then you think, how is it possible that we have been fooled, not only this life, but so many lives, by this little. And what is the kind of foolishness? That we have taken upon ourselves? the werewolf of greed and it's the tiger of greed. Both of them, with enormous pleasure, gnaw at the inside of our body and of our heart. They tear us apart, hate tears us apart, greed tears us apart, and they leave us in a mess. And it's interesting when you look at the world that people love it. That people go for it, and even if the tiger is tearing them apart, they cry, more, more, more of it. They want more, and they want more, and they want more. While the tiger or the werewolf is eating their flesh, is playing with their sinews and nerves, and hurting, and they still feel it. They want more and more. Isn't it strange? And then they complain how difficult life is. Once you go through, you see it really clearly. But as long as you haven't gone through, you will follow this like and dislike. You will be torn apart by your desires and wishes, wishing it to be otherwise, wishing it to be different from what it is right now. So a good practice is staying calm and staying equanimous with whatever is. And a lot of patience is necessary just to keep that, not to follow the likes and not to follow the dislikes. Just keep on working. Just keep on working. Just keep on working. Just keep on investigating. Just keep on breaking it down. The less we get involved in the world, the less we get involved in our sensual desires, the sphere of the sex senses, the less our heart becomes disturbed. And the less our heart is undisturbed, the less our heart, how to say? The less our heart is disturbed, the more calm we feel and the more happy we feel. Now just tell me. Just tell me one thing how to get through your self-defense mechanism of the calf-love. Just for a moment. Just for a moment to see the truth. Tanachaman was waging a war for hours on some people to make them give up their defense. I don't have this power. I cannot wage war for hours and hours the makeup give your ideas, you see the truth. I just apply to your senses that you let your defense down. He waged a war. He was hammering on certain persons who wouldn't give up their belief until they really just couldn't do anything. They had to give up. He was talking to them in a manner that was really waging war on their ideas, on where they were stuck. And they didn't want to give it up, so he was talking for hours on them to give them, to let go. And only the lightning in Thanacham Mahabodhi says, the thunder and lightning stopped only the moment that person has given up his defense.
Usually it happens during your practice anyway. Maybe it's difficult to do it with words.
Well, he was skilled to do it with words. And Thanacham Mahabodhi says, when the more fiery talk of Thanacham monks got, the more freedom they had after. The more the kilesas were in the height. He said it sometimes lasted for 2 or 3 days after a talk. That the kilesas were at the height, so they can practice free. And after 3 days or 4 days, the kilesas came out of their hideout, and then the war started again. So they needed another talk. I've seen it with Thanacham Mahabodhi for myself, but he didn't. In my case, he just expressed his disappointment, and that was for me was enough to send the kilesas in the hideout for 6 or 7 days. It was an extremely amazing experience. You knew that the kilesas were still down in the background, but they didn't dare to show up. And after a while, after a few days, of course, you get used to it. Oh, that's great. I don't show up, so I have time for practice. They cannot fool me at that time. And then the surprise, of course, after a while, after a few days, when they come back into their main functioning, then it was a war. You felt back into the normal senses, you felt back in the normal climate, and that was like a war is going on around. The war of the kilesas that always try to push you this or push you that in this way, or push you in that way, make you believe this or make you believe that, or doing this or not doing this, liking this and not liking this. This is compared to the peaceful but yet not free state where the kilesas are in the hideout. That is a war. The war of the world, the war of the senses. So if somebody has the ability to do that for you, you will know. It's very helpful for them. It just stills up all our wrong ideas we have, what we should be doing or what we shouldn't be doing. It just gives us the free space or the free time to do whatever we are supposed to do. It means investigation or doing Dhamma. So I don't know what with you. Yeah, this defense mechanism is big. Probably use iron plates. The beliefs that we have developed are like these types. Each time we make this belief, a new layer on this self-defense is going on. And it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker until for us it is impossible to remove or impossible to see. It's so thick. And because we think this is right thought, or we have evaluated, or we have rationalized, we think this is correct, and it's correct in line with the Dhamma, and that's why we don't touch it, and that's why we go on. There is nothing, there is no stone in our practice that we should not turn and look what is done. No, not a single stone must be left unturned. Whatever we believe, each belief we have to question. Whatever we view, each view we have to question. Whatever we want, we have to question. Whatever we dislike, we have to question. We have to investigate. And the stronger, of course, our plates of defense mechanism, or our views, or our opinions are, the more difficult it is. So if there is somebody who can give us a help with that, hammers a little bit on it, makes it weak, makes it break up, that will be a great fortune for all. But if there is no one, and Thanacham Man has passed away long, long time ago, so that's why it's so difficult for us now. Thanacham Mahabua doesn't have the energy anymore to scold his monks, to constantly step on their toes that they feel where it hurts. Then we have to do it for ourselves. And if we don't know which toe to step on, then it becomes more difficult. But why I say this? Because I see that you just, I gave you handles in the last few talks, how to deal with these. Now apply them. Really do apply them to every kind of activity. There are not a lot of activities we do here. And it's the activity of thinking, it's the activity of speaking, and it's the activity of the body. Apply them. Break them down. Really hold them still for the moment. Or question them. Break them down to what they really point to. Let them disperse. Break them in their elements, into the 4 elements, or do whatever, so that they don't have the power over it. One of these activities that has power over you just gets another activity. And the power is doubled. And within no time, the power is so strong, or the energy is so strong, that you just have no other way than to follow. So be mindful, catch it, break it down. Think of these things, or remind yourself that the mind or the heart creates everything that you see, hear, and think. It creates, it's the creator. Avijja is the builder of this world. Avijja is the builder of these 5 counts. So it creates. And we are fooled by it. We are fooled by it, and we believe it. We are fooled by the voice that is behind our ears and whispers this sweet thing and that sweet thing, and this longing and this fulfillment and that fulfillment. And then we go for it. Because the sweetness of the kilesas is no comparison to the effort that we have to put into our life. So let's take a break, let's take a holiday, and let's take a rest for a while. Like, make this holiday long enough so that all the Dhamma that we have developed can disperse. And then we can start at the beginning, and in the beginning it's always easy. So we have the feeling that we've done. We have accomplished. Once we come to a difficult stage of the practice, we need another break. We need another holiday. And after a while, we feel the need, to practice again. And all in all, within years and years, we just came always to the same places, to the same problem. We never attacked it, because before we were starting to attack it, we went on holiday. We went to nature. We never tackled it. We never faced it. We never looked at it.